This is Minna with Whiskers in Paradise, and I wanted to do a video today about how we keep our 9 cats and 3 dogs in our yard. We are currently living in Wharton, Texas on 2.5 acres, and when I say currently, we are under contract to sell our house. It has sold, and we will be moving in a couple of weeks to Santa Fe, New Mexico. But we have lived out here since 2009. And we originally lived in Sugar Land, Texas, in the master plan community of New Territory. When we lived in New Territory, we had a small backyard, and we had 3 dogs and 3 cats. And the 3 dogs had enough room in the back, it was fenced in, that they could be contained. And of course the cats were kept inside. But since we have moved out here, we have accumulated 9 new cats and 3 dogs. And when we got here, the property had no fence. It's 2.5 acres, and we were having problems with the neighborhood dogs and the neighborhood cats, and there's a lot of wildlife out here. We have deer, and we have wild hogs, and we have wild pigs. We have packs of dogs, stray dogs, and we also have coyotes out here. So we wanted to have something that would keep our dogs in on our property, and my husband decided to have a fence built. Well, we originally built a chain link fence in the backyard. It kept the dogs in, but it didn't keep the cats in. So we had to think of something else, and then he came up with the idea of getting a predator fence around the whole property, which is 2.5 acres, and he called the fence company. They came out and they gave him a quote on a 6-foot fence. So we found out that the 6-foot fence, for the price for an 8-foot fence is the same price as a 6-foot fence. We decided to go along with the 8-foot fence, but little did we know that the 8-foot fence would really look like a compound, and this is what the 8-foot fence looks like. I don't know if you can see because it's very sunny today. And this fence goes around the whole property. There's skirting around the bottom of it so that the dogs cannot, you can't see it, but there's skirting around the bottom. So the dogs can't dig out and no one can dig in. This is the front fence, front gate. And there is a lock on the front gate because when we first got this, the Federal Express and the mail people would deliver packages to the front door and they would leave the gate open. Well, that's not really conducive to keeping the animals in, so we had to put a lock on the gate. So now, if you want to come in, you have to call us or honk your horn. This actually keeps the cats in. And we're coming up to the electronic gate. Now here are the crossbars that are on all corners of the fence here. These are the crossbars here. And when we move to Santa Fe, we will have this type of fence also put up on our new property, and we will make a correction to have the crossbars put on the inside of the fence, because we found out that you can actually climb over the fence with these crossbars, and we found that out when my daughter left her remote at home and she couldn't get in, so she climbed the fence. It's very easy to climb the fence on this. And this is the gate. It's an electronic gate. That is an additional package. It's not included in the price of the fence. It has a very heavy-duty magnet here. The only problem is if the wind is blowing from the east, you have to get out and actually close the fence yourself because it doesn't catch all the way. So this has been a very good thing to have to keep your cats in. We did find out we had to reinforce the sides of the gate, all the gates, because the cats were able to slip through. Now, after we got the fence up, we actually thought that the cats were going to be contained in the fence, but we had one little cat who could actually take a running leap and hit the middle of the fence and climb over. So we had to think of something else to keep that cat in. And Don came up with the idea of putting skirting around the top of the gate. That was pretty ingenious of him. And let's see if I can get somewhere where you can see it better. It's really quite nice out here. I'm having a hard time with the sun today. It's very bright, so I had to stop the tape and start over. But the top skirting is just chicken wire laid over the top, and it's put on with some heavy-duty wire. And to make it fan out, this there is a metal bar that Don got at Home Depot, and I don't know if you can see it, and it pushes the chicken wire out, kind of like an umbrella, so when the cats try to climb the fence, they can climb it as far as they want, but they can only get so far, and then they have to fall back down. It since that time, we have not had any escapes, and we really like the fence. The only problem I said earlier is that it looks like a compound. We live on a dead-end street. We're the last house on the left, like the scary movie, and there's no street lights on this street. We do have a bunch of floodlights in the back of the house. So when you come upon the house in the dark, all you see is this huge 8-foot fence with floodlights, and it looks like a military compound. So when we put the house on the market, within 2 weeks it's sold. And one of the reasons that it sold so fast is because of this fence. The people that bought it, it's a young couple, and they have a couple of kids, and they like the idea of being able to keep their kids inside the yard. And as I said, if you come to the house, or if anyone comes to the house, like Federal Express or UPS, they have to honk the horn for us to come out, which is good. I really don't like people just walking up to the front door anymore, especially out here. It's pretty secluded, and when I'm here by myself, I just feel a little bit more secure. And the cost of this fence was $14,600, and it took him about a week to put up. The skirting on the top, Don did all by himself, and it took him about 6 weeks of weekends and after work to put it up. But it has made a big difference as far as keeping the cats inside. This is really nice property out here. We have 10 acres in the back. It's not our acreage, it's someone else's, but there's no one out there. It's just empty lot. And then we have I guess you'd say a forest in the back. Now, if you only have a chain link fence in your backyard, this can be done on a chain link fence, because I had a friend who actually did this too. He has 2 cats, and all he had was a chain link fence. And what he did is he did the same type of skirting at the top of his fence, and you can attach it very easily to these things here and just get something to fan it out with. And his cats have not gotten out. You will have to reinforce the sides of it like this here, because we have skinny cats and they can just walk through, but he's had no problems whatsoever as far as his cats getting out. So if you have any comments or questions, just leave them at the bottom. And thanks for watching.